body motion. How does the body, the full torso, actually work in the swing? Well, if you look at the swing itself, we're standing with our feet, say, somewhere in the region of shoulder width apart, or maybe slightly narrow or wider, depending on the club we're using. But very important, once we've got good posture, is to learn to move the body in such a way that we create motion. We see so many players who stay dead still in an effort to try to hit the ball straight. Well, you need motion to hit a ball. Your body has to move. Any sport that you play, whether you throw a ball, kick a ball, serve a tennis ball, no matter what it is, you have to learn to use the big muscles in the swing correctly, the big muscles of the upper body and the lower body, supported by the feet. Remember, balance is important. We have to move with balance. Even though we move a lot, we don't want to move out of balance, otherwise it's going to be very difficult to get the club back to square when we make contact with the ball. So, in setting up to the ball, if I took this center point here, as I swing back, there is a little bit of a lateral movement. It's what I term a lateral rotation. There's a little bit of lateral, there's a lot of rotation. As we swing in the opposite direction, there's a little bit of lateral and there's a lot of rotation. So we don't just stay around a fixed point. If we stay around a fixed point, it's very difficult to get the angle correctly onto the ball. In other words, if I stay dead still, the club goes up and down. Remember, the club has to swing in a fairly wide arc as it swings around the body. So the body has to move. So I like to think in terms of the body moving in such a way that, hey, as I swing back, I try to get my shirt buttons on top of my right leg. As I swing through, ultimately, at the finish, my shirt buttons are on top of my left leg. So we don't have to keep the head dead still. We don't want to encourage extra movement, certainly, but really the rotation of the body. If I just lay this club down, put the hands behind my body, just to describe to you how the body moves. There's a little shift. I turn back. I get my back facing the target. I pretty much turn my upper body twice the amount of my lower body in that general area. As I swing back, I brace myself. So there's no wasted motion. We keep a lot of fixation in this right leg so the weight does not go to the outside of the foot. I then, as I swing through, my weight starts to shift back to the left side. The body then starts to turn through towards the target. So when I finish, I'm now in a nice balanced position, up on my right toe, facing the target in a complete finish. So once again, we move, we turn. We move, we turn. And we do this with a degree of rhythm and fluidity, smoothness. So it's a movement that we create speed. The way our body moves, the way we wind up, the way we coil. Turning my upper body twice the amount of my lower body creates a coiling action which allows me then to unwind, very much like a spring. We coil it going back, we uncoil it going through. So there's a degree of flow, there's a lot of motion, but once again, we have to think in terms of moving in such a way that it allows the club to swing. Remember, the dog wags the tail. We have to get our body moving if we want the club to move. Good golf swing is all about flow, all about movement. We stay dead still, and remember, so many thoughts these days are based around, hey, keep your head still, watch the ball, stay down on it. The problem when you do that is that you stay here and you don't have any motion. You look stiff, you look tight. So one of the keys really is to flow and to move. Now, we need some stability, certainly, but very important to understand that thinking in terms of when I address the ball, if this is my center, say my sternum, think of a line going down inside your right leg and think of a line going down inside your left leg. So what we're trying to do here is to actually swing back and turn around this line on the backswing, and then as we swing through, we turn around this line on the follow through. So it's very important to understand that we don't stay dead centered. There has to be a weight shift in the swing. So when I swing back, I load up on this right leg, I swing through, and I move back to the left side. We see so many golfers that try to stay dead still. As a result, they get all these problems like reverse pivots and what have you. There's too many to mention. But the fact remains is that if I put the club behind my back like this and just turn around and look at somebody like this, okay, as I do this, you can see how I've moved. I'm turning around, my weight's on my right side, consequently I swing through. As I look back in this direction, my weight is now on my left side. So remember, it's just like you're turning around to look at somebody. When you turn around and look at somebody, my shirt buttons are now on top of my right leg, and that's important. You don't want to have your shirt buttons moving this way. So when you swing the club, the feeling is that you get behind the ball. You hear about that, getting behind it. Well, as long as you keep a little flex in that right knee, you won't sway. A lot of people are really afraid of swaying. So remember, get back into that right side, swing through to the left side. And that's all there is to it.